Still in the driver's seat for one more afternoon. I know you guys probably missed me this past Thursday, this past Friday, but I came back a new man. Nick Sainer joining me, 402-464-5685. We want you to join us as well. That's the Starter Heyman text line, Honda of Lincoln hotline. You listen to the Ticket Water Cooler, 93.7 The Ticket. Nate Brennan, I am a changed man. I come back 1 year older. I am now officially into my mid-20s, so I've had some people decipher it differently, but I've decided that's what I'm sticking with because I'm now 24 years old, and if you split them into thirds, technically that would mean that I am now in my mid-20s, right? I mean, I think.
If you split them into thirds?
So like 20, 21, 22, 23 would be your early 20s.
Okay.
24, 25, 26 is your mid-20s.
Yep.
27, 28, 29 is your late 20s.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's how I'm deciphering.
I'm okay with that. Yeah.
So I've decided that I'm now in my mid-20s. My glory days are past me, so it's only downhill from here.
Do you feel any different?
To be honest with you, everyone always asks me that, and every birthday in the past, I have said no, but for some reason this year I do.
Really?
I don't know how to describe it. I feel different. It feels weird.
What'd you do this for your birthday?
I feel like an actual adult now. I went on a pedal pub and drank in downtown Omaha.
Yeah, no, I saw all the videos. I was bummed. I missed it. I missed it.
I know. I wish you would have come. It was a good time.
I'm sure it was a good time.
Bipolar, thank you. He says, "Happy belated birthday, twin." Do we have the same birthday, Bipolar?
That makes sense.
Or are we both? I'm a Cancer. I think the cutoff is sometime in late June. That makes me a Cancer because I know of some people that have July birthdays, but I'll be entirely honest with you guys. I have no idea what the signs are other than Cancer. That's the only one I know because that's mine.
That was going to be my next question is how much do you pay attention to those? Because I
have no idea. And I don't really know what they mean.
I know some signs, but I don't know when they are. Like I know Pisces, Virgo, Cancer, Sagittarius.
What do they mean? Is it constellations?
I don't know. I thought it was just like fate or something.
No, I think it has something to do with constellations. Oh, Bipolar. Happy belated birthday to you, brother. That's awesome. I guess we have the same birthday.
What are those?
Bipolar, we have the same zodiac signs.
Thank you.
Bipolar, speaking of which, we have the same birthday as LaDainian Tomlinson. So, LaDainian Tomlinson, happy birthday to you too, my man.
Where's LT at right now?
I don't know. Probably listening to
LaDainian Tomlinson, not Lawrence Taylor.
You should be listening to 93.7 The Ticket. Yeah, no, not Lawrence Taylor. That is correct. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate that. Happy belated birthday. So, yes, it was the 23rd. I just missed my golden birthday. I don't know if there's a word for the year after your golden birthday. You know, like I turned 23 on the 23rd last year, but this year I turned 24 on the 23rd.
So my golden birthday's next year, 22 on the 22nd.
Nice.
However,
yours isn't what? March?
February. Yeah. So
okay.
What's interesting here, you have one birthday left for something that you can look forward to.
What, 25?
25.
Well, I've heard 30's fun.
No, 25 because you can rent a car.
Well, I think you can rent a car now, but you have to pay a ton of money.
Exactly.
And, like, fees and
just
stuff.
Rent a car at 25.
Which is unbelievable. I don't know if I want to rent a car. I don't know if I want to rent a car out of spite. Why do you have to be 25 years old to rent a car?
Plus, rental car prices right now through the roof.
No, it's actually out of control.
Through the roof.
Someone at 1011 did a story on that recently, actually. It was getting bad.
All right, so Zodiac.
I don't know. They have something to do with constellations, which means how the stars align, right?
Yeah, and it's dates, though.
No, I know. So, what's the cutoff for Cancer?
June 22nd. Oh, you just got it.
See, that's what I told you. It starts late June. That's why everyone always tries to argue with me. I'm telling you guys.
June 22nd to July 22nd.
Yeah, see? There you go.
So they're only a month?
Yeah, there's 12 of them.
Okay, so we got Pisces. I'm a Pisces. A fish.
You get an animal?
Yeah, there's an animal.
What am I?
I'll tell you. Okay.
402-464-5685. Do you guys actually know the zodiac signs?
Or do you read stuff?
I think it's a millennial thing.
I honestly don't know.
I think because I'm technically Gen Z. So this one, I think millennial. It's a millennial thing. I'm
a little older than us.
It's people that are a little bit older than us is when I think it started.
So it's Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer. You're a crab.
Oh, nice.
A crab.
I've been crab fishing before.
Really? Okay.
Sport fishing. It was awesome.
Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpius, Sagittarius, Capricornus. Capricorn, I guess, is what it's called. Capricornus are a goat, Aquarius, and then Pisces. So I had no idea. I can never name this.
No, I didn't know either.
would
I
not
just
be able
know
to
that
name
I'm a Cancer. But that's beside the point. Tanner's Sports Bar and Grill, Tavern 180, proud to present an evening with the Huskers. That's going to be tonight. I want to make sure to let you guys know about that.
Not tonight, Monday, July 18th.
Monday, July 18th. So it's not tonight. Okay, so 3 weeks. Is that right? 3 weeks. Garrett Nelson, O'Shawn Mathis, Trey Palmer. There's going to be some coaches there as well. Make sure that you guys know. For some reason, I thought it was tonight. No one ever tells me the dates for these things.
The dates.
I just show up and you guys just read this. Okay,
the date's on the flyer, Nate.
Well, I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. Tanner's Sports Bar and Grill. Go ahead. Mark it on your calendars now. It's going to be in 3 weeks, 6 to 9 o'clock at Tanner's on, it looks like 8600 South 30th Street. Garrett Nelson, O'Shawn Mathis, Trey Palmer, some Husker coaches, all going to be there. Go ahead again. July 18th, mark it on your calendar now. Eric says, you are a Cancer, Nate. LOL. Sorry, it was right there.
You're a Cancer.
Oh, I get what it but okay, I see.
Wow.
Wow, come on, Eric.
No, it was more of come on, Nate.
That ain't right.
Took you a long time to.
Again, I'm out of it. That's the
So
thing
what-
is
what
now
did-
I'm old now, so I get passes on these kind of things.
So here's the
I'm
thing.
losing myself.
I got back from vacation yesterday. I should have taken a buffer day today.
Why is that?
I realized that I need a buffer day just to come back, unwind.
It's not how the working world works, man.
Says the one that took a day off for his birthday.
Well, of course I did.
Your 24th birthday.
What do you mean? It was great. Of course I took. Actually, I only took 1 day off technically from 10-11.
You took
I
both
took
days off
no,
here.
I took 2 days off here, but 10-11 I only took off 1 day because I am an adult, and that's how adults handle their business. All right,
I worked on my
get
birthday.
things done.
On my 21st birthday,
And
I
you
worked.
took the day after.
The day after my 21st.
You took the day after. I know you
my
did.
21st.
That was your own choice. I didn't tell you to do that.
You took both.
And I've looked at the calendar. You're just taking every week off nowadays.
No, that's not
every
true.
other week is just
No.
Nick's just not here. Okay, well,
No.
that's fine. Bach's just decided he's just not going to show up.
Yeah, we need to talk to
anymore.
Bach. Okay, because it's one thing.
He's figured it out. He's got the gig. We just haven't seen it.
It's one thing to take 1-2 days off every 3 or 4 weeks. However, Bach just went and took a straight shot 2.5 weeks off, and we're just stuck without him.
Whatever.
I guess
But
Rashawn's going to take like 15 days off in a row here this week
What?
or soon. I don't know if that's true.
Who told you that?
Rashawn, he keeps making jokes that he's going to take 10 or 15 days off in a
For
row.
what?
I don't know. I asked him where he's going. He's like, well, I got to work. And I'm like, what?
I don't know
was
what
like,
that
what are you
means.
talking about, Rashawn?
I really don't know what that means.
Ross, I can't get past how it sounds like there's just one guy arguing with himself right now.
I've heard a few people say that our voices sound similar.
We are very loud people.
We're very loud,
We're
but no,
very
supposedly we have pretty similar voices, which I don't remember. Someone told me that for the first time. I was like, well, maybe.
I've been compared to a couple people, unfortunately, that have either used to work here or now work here.
That is true. You were compared to me. I was not compared to you. That is right.
That's right.
Make sure you get that correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I said. Yeah.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
It is. I think we spent too much time together.
We probably do. All right. I want to get this back on track. 402-464-5685. Honda of Lincoln Hotline. Starter Heyman text line. We want to hear from you. I'm not entirely sure where that was going. But basically, we had a couple wild weekends, so I don't really know what's going to happen. What is Mark saying? Oh, yeah. So before we speak from now on, I'm going to just say, this is Nathan talking. Nick could do the same. I don't know, but this thing, I don't know if people know me as Nate or Nathan at this point in time. That's actually started to really mess with my head.
Nate. Well, so
because I don't know who knows me as who, because on TV, I always, my tag out's always Nathan Brennan. But when I'm here, I always say Nate Brennan.
So that's the thing is when I'll be hanging out with like you and then 10, 11 people as well, is I'll call you Nate and they'll literally be, they'll be like,
about?
why are you, what did you just call him?
I know.
I was like, well, I'm just used to hearing Nate.
Also, downtown Scott's throwing Bach in there too. Bach,
I think Bach's different.
Bach might have a little bit. I think ours is somewhat similar. But
yeah, I agree.
I want to get this back on track. We'll probably talk about this. This is probably going to be the majority of what we talk about because breaking news, obviously, over the weekend, one of our good friends here at the station, Nuri, he's going to be suspended for the 2022 season. Scott Frost said that he'll be back 2023. kind of where I want to go with this, and Nick's going to hang around for On the Block too. Strick's in a charity golf tournament this weekend, so he's not going to be joining us today. So it'll be me and Nick for Water Cooler and On the Block. And this is going to be a lot of what we talk about. Do you think something like this, and we'll obviously dive into it further a little bit, but does something like this change your expectation for Nebraska football? Because I'll be entirely honest with you. After I have a 9-3 record, I've stood by that. I have it on the board. March 1st, I said 9-3.
Yeah, you have it on a different board.
I have it on a different because I've been since March. I've said this is a 9-3 football team. I love the additions of Mark Whipple, O'Shawn Mathis just further made me more excited.
Say, that's before a lot.
It was before a lot, and I said, give it some time. The transfer portal will kind of settle itself in. Nebraska's sitting, I think, the 7th best transfer portal class, 6th or 7th, as we sit right here right now. I'm not gonna lie, this was a tough blow, and not only I think it's different for us too because we obviously know Nuri personally, and he's a great guy and a leader in that locker room. Like seriously, I mean, this is further than just on the football field. When you lose a guy like this, and I know he's going to be in the locker room, I know that Frost said he's still going to be within the program on the field, but this is the one guy in the one position group, especially the offensive line, you really couldn't lose. And I'll be honest with you, it might change how I view the rest of the season. And I'm going to stick with 9-3 for now, but you're already so thin at the offensive line. And you had a guy that you knew going in was going to start, a guy that's been in the program for a couple of years now, a guy that's obviously a leader within the locker room, a leader within the team, one of the nicest guys I've ever met in my life. And now he's not going to be
enjoyable guys to be
like
around.
Seriously.
Yeah.
And he's now not going to be here for the 2022, and we're not going to speculate. We're not going to say anything like that. So I know a few of you guys have already asked kind of what's going on, and we haven't talked to him personally, and I don't really think it's our position to say anything.
No.
And he sent his statement out on Twitter, and I respect him and appreciate him for coming out and saying that he apologized. It was his fault. But when you look at the landscape of this season, it's a tough blow, man. It's tough.
I would agree with you. A tough blow. I'm actually, when I look at the entirety of Nebraska's offensive line situation, you expect, let's just kind of, we can kind of play a game here where we kind of predict what's going to happen or what the offensive line is going to look like week 0 against Northwestern on August 27th. And obviously barring any injuries between now and then, guys hitting speed bumps in their rehab process, things like that. There's a little, I don't feel as bad about it, I think, as you may, Nate, but it's definitely a hit to the room. Obviously. I mean, he was one of your guys he's been here. He's been at Nebraska for a couple of years. He was able to kind of solidify himself in that starting rotation last year. And he was
going to be the starter.
Yeah. In that solidified himself in that starting rotation last year in a season that outside of Cam Jurgens, you didn't really feel that great about the offensive line.
Right.
It was bad. And then they go and they address it by getting Hunter Anthony and one guy to kind of improve depth this offseason. So you look at what Nebraska now has in their room. And 402-464-5685, the Honda Lincoln Hotline, Starter Heyman text line. Call in, text us how you guys are feeling. We can even make it on like a scale of 1 to 10. How do you guys feel about the offensive line group now that Nuri's no longer a part of it for just the 2022 season? Now, here's what's interesting. We've heard it multiple times throughout spring camp when I would head to Scott Frost press conferences that they feel like a guy like Turner Corcoran could play all 5 positions. And at start, at the end of spring ball, I was actually leaning towards thinking Turner Corcoran was going to maybe play center. However, it feels like a lot of people within that group, within that within the program, feel really like what Trent Hickson can give them at the center position. And he's a guy that's been here for 4+ years. So center's kind of locked down. Left tackle, you expect Teddy Prohaska to be back healthy. Right guard, you expect Hunter Anthony. Right tackle, you don't know what you're going to have. Bryce Benhart maybe, but now you have this left guard position of where Nuri was going to be,
which was kind of the one that was kind of set in stone, right?
Exactly.
That was the one.
It was that, and I guess maybe you could put Hunter Anthony in that group, the transfer from Oklahoma State, I suppose. But from what we have actually seen in a Nebraska uniform, it's Nuri. So then you look at, and maybe a guy like Turner Corcoran can take his spot at the left guard position if it's truly how they if that's truly how they feel with Turner Corcoran being able to play all 5 positions on the field. Then Nebraska can plug in Turner Corcoran at left guard and they can be on their way. Now, right tackle is still a position that I'm kind of curious about. You also still have Ethan Piper in that group.
That's who I was going to mention.
Ethan Piper could fill in at left guard, but you have to remember last year, Ethan Piper was one of those starters at week 0 against Illinois, or at least in the conversation. I can't remember if he was in the starting group or not. He was in the conversation and then did not look good.
No,
did not look good. He had a little bit of a wrist injury in spring ball that kept him out. However, by fall, though, we expect him to be available. So I feel I'm worried about the offensive line, but I think the last 5 years, we have always, I mean, there's been a lot of reason to be worried about the offensive line. We've just been used to mediocre offensive line play the last 5 years. And that's kind of what Wichita Husker says on the text line here. There used to be a time that Nebraska wouldn't have to rebuild from year to year. We used to reload. Unfortunately, we're still rebuilding. Absolutely. And you're banking on transfers. Like but that's
at
also
a lot of positions.
That's also college football, though.
That's how it is now.
I mean, you're banking on transfers, and you're banking on guys coming back from injuries and being the same. Obviously, like Teddy Prohaska, small sample size, but he was Nebraska's best offensive lineman last year when healthy at the left tackle position. So you kind of hope that he comes back the same way, or however you want to categorize it. Yeah, it's just a bummer. Another guy to watch, I suppose, Henry Latovsky, super young from small town in Iowa. Hasn't been able to see the field, but is a guy that Nebraska coaches like a lot.
So. Rivals had him as the number 13 offensive guard in the class of 2020. I know, again, I'm letting you kind of walk through this because you've been following them for longer and a lot closer. Yeah. I just kind of have the general stats up here.
Brant Banks is even in that conversation. I forgot Brant Banks. And so I think here's the thing. Just like every other position on Nebraska's roster, Nate, we can look at this and say, there are guys
that could fill into that role.
But are they going to be talented enough? Maybe not. How are we going to feel in week 4 when they're getting beat up 4 weeks in a row? Are we going to look back and go, man, we're really missing Nuri? Think about it, like when we're 3/4 of the way through the season and you're playing a Big Ten conference schedule and you're facing Wisconsin and Michigan. You just came off of a game on the road against Michigan, and now you got to rebound and play another Big Ten opponent. And it's like, are they going to be able to handle that? You just never know. It takes a different type of dude. And that's what makes like Wisconsin's offensive line so impressive, is that week in and week out, they're just reliable.
Minnesota
used to be, they graduated all their guys.
Right.
So Minnesota's going to be interesting this year.
Texter says our offensive line wasn't good enough for one guy to make a difference. I think you're kind of answering the question for us, and that's part of the issue is you're kind of in this position in Nebraska, kind of across the board, and development is a big part of this, and we've had extensive discussions, me and you, Nick, about this, that the line depth-wise doesn't look great on paper, and that's why it's so difficult to lose a guy like Nuri. Because he was the one guy in that rotation now that Cam Jurgens is gone that's kind of solidified his spot in the lineup, solidified his spot at the position, and now you lose him. And because of whether you want to call it development, whether you want to call it recruiting, whether you want to call it the transfer portal, for crying out loud, because that is the landscape of college football now, they don't have much depth.
No.
And situations like this, obviously you can never predict something like this, and this is, I would say, more of a fluke than anything, for lack of better words. Now, what do? Right? You are in a really, really tough position, because I'd probably go out and say this is probably the thinnest position group.
I agree.
I would say with the additions on the transfer portal, if we're looking at the entire team, this is probably the one position group you really couldn't afford this. There are some other ones. Listen, if O'Shawn Mathis goes down in 2 months in practice, sure, we're going to be talking about a completely different defensive group. But I would still say that there's depth. You had some additions on the transfer portal. This is the one position group you really couldn't have something like that.
I agree. So it's funny that, Wichita Husker, just to talk about development, And there's a couple texts I'm sure you want to get to, Nate, and I see them as well. To go back to Wichita Huskers' point, there used to be a time when Nebraska wouldn't have to rebuild from year to year. We used to reload. And not saying Nebraska offensive line has been great, but just to show you guys or give you tangible evidence on Nebraska and how much they've struggled for them to their offensive line specifically to perform on Saturdays. They've had 3 NFL draft picks in the last 2 drafts from their offensive line.
Yeah.
Brendan Hymas and Matt Farniok, granted they were 5th and 7th round draft
Still
picks,
drafted,
but they were draft picks.
Yeah.
Cam Jurgens was a 2nd round draft pick.
Yeah.
So just go back to 2021. You had a 2nd round draft pick, a 5th round draft pick, and a 7th round draft pick on your offensive line. And it's looked atrocious. Atrocious. So that's not necessarily, it goes back to that whole discussion of talent versus development. Or excuse me, not even development. It's more of just getting them to play on Saturdays.
Mm-hmm.
And that
development's a big part of it.
That latter part has been a big issue. Getting them to play on Saturdays, getting them to play as one cohesive unit on Saturdays. That's been the problem. Now, granted, I'm not saying Matt Farniok is going to be an all-pro guy. I'm not saying Brendan Hymas, but they're draft picks. And Nebraska fans loved that long streak of Nebraska guys getting drafted. Mm-hmm. It was broken then a couple years ago. And so now you're getting it back with a couple guys getting drafted the last couple years.
In the 2nd round, too. I mean,
yeah, 2 guys in the 2nd round this last year.
Yeah.
But anyway, you had Cam Jurgens 2nd round, 51st overall this year, Brendan Hymas in the 5th, and Matt Farniok in the 7th in the 2021 draft. So it's not like now I'm not comparing these last couple years of Nebraska's offensive line to 20, 30 years ago, because it's not even close. But to say that Nebraska hasn't had talent on the offensive line is not true. Mm-hmm. It's them the coaches getting them to play on Saturdays. That's been the issue.
I think Raiola will help out.
I do as well. We've talked to Nuri and Brandt in here before, and it
means business.
Exactly. And I knew this text would come. And this is not a knock on Raiola. That conversation, that point that I just made is not a knock on Raiola. Unnamed texter says that's why the coach isn't here anymore. Give the new guy a chance. I think Raiola is going to be great. I think he is.
I do too.
Because of the conversations that we've had with Nuri and Brandt Banks personally, and off the
there's just a lot of moving pieces on the offensive line too. Like I don't care who your offensive line coach is, when you have this much uncertainty, like there is legitimate, I think the only other way to put it is uncertainty at the offensive line. And there's uncertainty across every position group. Don't get me wrong. There are a lot of transfers coming in. There's a lot of young kids that are going to be thrown into roles that they've never been thrown into before.
Well, to that
point, there is a lot of uncertainty on the offensive line.
Well, to that point, I mean, there was uncertainty to begin with. Now there's just more.
Right.
No, we're not saying that Nuri made it, 100% certain and locked in place, because he didn't. He was a great player. We also got this. You guys are being too easy on him. He was selfish. He didn't care about the team, only himself. I would disagree with that. I don't know. We can't talk about it a ton. We don't want to go into speculation or anything like that
because we don't know.
But if a guy is trying to improve his play for the team, is that selfish? Or
we also don't know the situation.
We also don't know the situation, but you also can't be ignorant to say that this isn't going on in every single program. It's just the guys that get caught, unfortunately. So I don't think we're being too. I honestly don't. If we were being too easy on him, then it would have been a situation where he's not on the program anymore. If it was a serious enough problem,
it was Scott's decision to say that he will be on the team. He will be practicing with the team. He's just not allowed to play on Saturdays.
I agree.
And he said 2023 he will have a role on the Nebraska offensive line.
Yep. And that tells me that it's not as serious as maybe we know. I mean, think about it. How many times do we talk about how stupid the NCAA is? How many times? We just got done talking about they literally they feel like they are out of control, or they don't have power right now because of all NIL stuff, right? And they see how NIL is happening. I'm not trying to bring NIL into this discussion, but just think about this and let us know your thoughts, because maybe I'm way off on this, Nate. But the NCAA could be just way out of line also, and just trying to show that they still have power.
They could be.
Like,
the thing is, again, we don't know. We
exactly
do not,
and that's
know.
What makes it so difficult.
And that's the thing too, is I'm not gonna talk on Nuri's behalf.
No.
All we can say is we know him personally. He is a part of 93.7 The Ticket.
Bingo.
And we know his character. We know the kind of kid that he is. And all I'm going to say on the situation is it's a tough loss.
Yeah.
No matter which way you look at it, on the field, off the field, it's a tough loss.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be. And it'll be interesting to see what happens too. And this is what I want to get to next after the break is how does this affect Casey Thompson? Because this is the biggest issue out of all of this is you have a transfer quarterback that everyone is counting on to perform this year behind a now even weaker offensive line than we initially anticipated. We'll get to that next. Stay with us. 93.7 The Ticket.
Work, laundry, dishes. I was exhausted. I needed a vacation, but finding a way to pay for it, not so easy. Then I found it, a research study at Solarion. I searched the studies and found a perfect match for me. It was so easy. I earned cash for the study and booked that vacation. Plus, I made an impact on medical research. Find a study and sign up today at helpresearch.com.
You should consider the risks of the research before you agree to participate.
Don't wait for the Lincoln fireworks stands to open up. Get the good stuff now at Roca Crazy Cracker in downtown Roca. Stop in through July 4th for the hotspot for rockets and more this Independence Day. Open 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. every day. Roca Crazy Cracker fireworks in downtown Roca. You know that feeling after a good, hearty meal? The worries of the world just slip away. Time slows down. Nothing but good times and good company. That's what you get with Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Mary Ellen's does food right, with a menu that includes smoked wings, pulled pork, brisket, catfish. And don't sleep on their sides, shrimp and grits, collard greens, baked beans. It's food that makes your heart happy. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul, just east of 27th and Pineland. Let them fix you a plate.
Please enjoy these next few moments of relaxation from Scott and Greg at Mendoza Family Insurance. If you would like to feel this relaxed about your home, auto, business, life, or commercial property insurance, please give Scott or Greg a call today at Mendoza Family Insurance.
At Baxter, we put you in the driver's seat with a simplified buying process, at-home test drives, hassle-free delivery, and service pickup and return. Check out all our new vehicle specials now during the Ram Make the Switch event at Baxter Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Hey, Steve. Welcome to Great Clips.
Great Clips asks, what's the difference between good and great?
Come on back and have a seat.
Good asks you what haircut you'd like.
I have all your details from last time. Would you like the same haircut today?
Great already knows. With Clip Notes, we save your haircut details so you can get the same thing as last time, every time. Download our online check-in app today. Great Clips. It's gonna be great.
Empire Fence and Netting in Waverly is now hiring for several positions. They're looking for a fence installer for both commercial and residential, for local projects, and ones that require travel. They also have openings for operators, dirt work, welding positions, and applicants with CDLs are very desirable. If you're looking for a locally operated business that provides excellent work for customers and great benefits and care for its employees, email info@empire-fence.com or give them a call at 402-682-7658. Empire Fence and Netting.
There's not many things worse than having plumbing issues at your home or business, but it's even worse if the problem isn't fixed correctly. Select Plumbing gets it right the first time, and they specialize in several things: general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. Plus, they're hiring service plumbers. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese Beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive Certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear, call me Papa Bear because I'm grilling up dinner. You get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Back to the Ticket Water Cooler. Brought to you by Culligan of Lincoln on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey, good Monday afternoon to all of you. Nick and Nate. How about that? Man, stick with that. Nick and Nate.
How about that?
Just coming to you, Ticket Water Cooler. We're also going to stick around for On the Block next. Eric Strickland is at a celebrity golf tournament. I asked him if I could also be in the celebrity golf tournament. I like to think of myself as a celebrity. It was a resounding no.
You do have the blue check.
I do. I got a blue check mark. So unfortunately, that's not enough to get you into a celebrity golf tournament. Also, I don't know if I would want to embarrass Strick in front of his friends. So probably best that I'm not there.
Did he give any names of guys that will be playing in there with
Not
him?
that I know of, no. But Strick, the thing about Strick is, if you guys listen, 402-464-5685, sorry, Honda of Lincoln Hotline, Starter Heyman text line. If you listen every day to On the Block, like, his personality is not a front. That is just who Strick is.
Dude, Strick is
he
insane.
talks and knows everybody.
Yeah.
Literally everybody. When we're out and we do live for any of the radio shows and Strick's there, he knows everybody. He talks to everybody. It's not a front. So it doesn't surprise me that he was the one invited to the celebrity golf tournament. So unfortunately, me and Nick were not invited. So we will be here for On the Block and Ticket Water Cooler. Also, Bach will be back tomorrow.
I was going to say, are you ready just to go back to just water cooler?
I don't know. I think I'm going to miss it. I'm curious if the text line is going to miss me or not. I don't even know if I want to ask that question because I'll probably get both sides. No, get Bach back. Finally. Right,
people love Bach.
People do love Bach.
People love
Bach.
Bach
Has a cult following.
It is.
It is.
6-6 prediction.
Bach and his constant 6-6 prediction. That's the thing that is the one thing I've enjoyed is at least we have one way or the other. Is Rico is very pessimistic and he's been saying a lot of 4-8, 5-7. VJ is saying like 11-1. So I don't know what the hell that's about. And then you have me kind of 9-3. I might go back down to 8-4. I don't know. We have people taking sides. Bach since March 1st has said 6-6.
How close are you to going down to 8-4 with this Nuri news? Are you pretty close? You seem pretty close, Nate.
I'm honestly stressed. Like that, I've been very confident in my 9-3 prediction. I'm incredibly confident in Mark Whipple. As you guys know, I'm a big ACC guy. I watched a lot of Pitt football. And I'm going to tell you right now, Kenny Pickett's not that great. And Mark Whipple made him look like the best quarterback in the NFL draft.
He's going to.
Which he was. And I think Casey Thompson and Mark Whipple is a match made in heaven. But with that being said, I'm not going to lie. It worries me. It does. Like And I don't know if it's just because we know Nuri personally. We know that he's a leader on the field, leader off the field. I'm a little bit nervous. I'm sticking with 9-3. If another domino falls, which Husker football, there's somehow, some way going to be another domino that falls, I might get a little worried.
Well, here's the thing. Our predictions have to be finalized by the start of fall camp.
When is that?
July 31st.
July 31st.
So if injuries happen in fall camp, we can't change our prediction. How much does your prediction change if Casey Thompson's not the starting quarterback?
I'd go down to 8-4. I might go down to 7-5.
You think Casey's set 2 wins?
I think
over Chuba, over Logan?
I do.
Interesting.
I do. I think Casey Thompson, when again, and I know a lot of people don't like this comparison, but there's some people that do. The only comparison, mano a mano, the only team that both Texas played and Nebraska played was Oklahoma. And I know that you hate the argument because there's different teams. I understand that. I get that. But it's a huge difference between
location,
one touchdown and 5, Nick.
There
if he threw 2 or 3 touchdowns, sure, fine. I get it. Whatever. The kid threw for over 300 yards and 5 touchdowns against Oklahoma. He's good. I'm telling you, the kid is legit, and it's not a knock on Chubba Purdy, and it's not a knock on Logan Smothers. Listen, I think they're both good quarterbacks. I was a little bit surprised that Logan Smothers didn't enter the transfer portal, to be entirely honest with you, because I think that he does want to be here, but I think at the end of the day, he's the one that's kind of getting a little bit. I don't know if screwed is the right word in this.
What if
he was going to be the starter until transfer portal additions were made?
I don't know anything here, but just going through random scenarios. What's this place going to be like if we find out Logan Smothers is competing with Casey for number 1 job out of nowhere?
I think we would have heard about it by now.
Interesting.
I think because we've heard, and I know Vershawn Jay has talked about it too, that they like Chubba Purdy. We've heard. We talked to Brian Munson about it too. They like Chubba Purdy, and we know that. Does that mean he's going to start? No, we have no idea. We can only speculate what that means, and we didn't see much from the spring game, unfortunately, to show us one way or the other. But I know that they like Chubba Purdy, and I know he's being a part of those discussions and conversations.
Well, but
I'm still taking Casey Thompson. I am.
Yeah, we can ask what's going to happen in like 2 years. Who's going to be Nebraska's? Who do you have a better feeling on Nebraska's quarterback going into 2023? Chubba Purdy, Logan Smothers, Heinrich Haarberg. Don't forget, they love Heinrich Haarberg.
I know you keep saying that. Come on.
I'm not saying I love Heinrich Haarberg, but they love Heinrich Haarberg. Or they got William Pop Watson coming in.
So you're just assuming that Casey Thompson is going to go to the NFL draft.
If Nebraska has a 10-win season, yes.
If Nebraska has a 10-win season, Casey Thompson might be a second, third round pick is what's essentially going to happen.
Unreal.
Seriously.
That's what Mark Whipple does.
Trust me, I saw Kenny Pickett as a scrub at Pittsburgh.
Dude, Kenny Pickett or Kenny Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, Kenny Pittsburgh is an awesome name. You got to remember, Nick, the reason he stayed for his COVID year at Pittsburgh is because he wasn't going to get drafted.
Yeah.
And he stayed.
He got to be a
22nd overall. And he is the 22nd overall pick, dude. I'm telling you, he's not that good. You are going to be I'm telling you, Husker Nation, you are going to be pleasantly surprised at how good of a coach Mark Whipple is. That goes in the discussion, though.
What if Mark Whipple can't do that with Casey Thompson?
I mean, there's a chance that he might not. Trust me, it could be a one-hit wonder with Kenny Pickett, which I Jordan Addison, don't think it was. Jordan Addison's going to help. So does Trey Palmer, dude. Like Trey Palmer's a former 5-star recruit,
yes,
man.
But you can't compete.
It's tough to get into that LSU receiving room. It is.
It's not now.
And there's a reason it's not now because they all left, including Mickey Joseph.
That's what I'm saying. It's not hard now because you got Mickey.
And Mickey Joseph decided Trey Palmer's the guy that he wanted coming with him. I trust Mickey Joseph, and I trust a 5-star recruit. Is that gonna show up on the field? I don't know. It might not. But it's reason to be optimistic. It's reason to be excited.
So here's a question. Do we, at the end of the season, if Casey Thompson doesn't play well, or you can even go vice versa, does play well, are we crediting Mark Whipple or are we crediting Scott Frost?
Ooh.
That's what's interesting. Because we can't sit here. We cannot sit here. It wouldn't be right for us. And I'm not saying we would, but we can't sit here, you and I included in this discussion, Nate, saying that Mark Whipple did these great wonders with Kenny Pickett, expecting him and say, yeah, he'll at the beginning of the season here saying, yep, he's going to do the same thing with Casey.
What if he does though?
Similar. That's what I'm saying. So then do we, at the end of the season, are we saying, yep, look what Mark Whipple did with Casey Thompson? Or are we saying, look what Scott Frost did with Casey Thompson? Well, look what Scott Frost did with this team after he unhitched his wagon, which his wagon was.
I think there's some credit to be given to Scott Frost, and I've talked to Bach about this. I think the credit would go to Mark Whipple, as it rightfully should, but I think we do need to give Scott Frost, and Trev Alberts, of course, some credit for getting these guys in the room. And I know a lot of people don't like to hear it, but there's some type of confidence in this program to be able to get a Mickey Joseph and Mark Whipple on your coaching staff. If there was no hope for Scott Frost, if there's no hope in the program, I don't care what anyone says. Yes, money talks. I understand that. They were at good programs before, and they still decided to put their faith in a 3-9 football coach and a 3-9 football program.
I don't know. Like, I feel like Mark Whipple's it's a huge risk for, maybe not risk, Mickey Joseph. Maybe risk is the incorrect word there because there's a lot of speculation about Mickey Joseph's future, and I don't want to get into that. Not whether or not he's going to be a coach here in Nebraska, whether or not he'd eventually be the head coach. There's a lot of speculation about that, which I don't want to get into.
Right.
However, Mark Whipple's in an interesting position because you look at it, he goes to a place like Pittsburgh. He reaches probably Pittsburgh's ceiling.
Pittsburgh is the New Year's Six Bowl.
Yeah, a ceiling.
And winning the ACC is Pittsburgh's ceiling.
So he did
100%.
He's losing. He lost his quarterback. He ended up losing his wide receiver, but after he left, obviously,
know about that.
yeah,
no one knew about that.
No,
Don't
nobody
even
had.
start on
Yeah,
that
exactly.
nonsense.
So we went off that day.
Go off that day.
Anyway,
rightfully so.
Anyway,
gotta feel for Pat Narduzzi on that one, man.
Oh, big time. Yeah, there's nothing you
Terrible.
can do about that. Anyway, so Mark Whipple's going, all right, listen, I'm older. I've had a long coaching career. I don't need to coach anymore, but you know what? Let's go to a place like Nebraska that's a historically respected program. And
There's a lot of question marks,
Let's see if we can do this. But here's the thing. If Mark Whipple, if it doesn't work out with Mark Whipple and he's not here next year, he's going to say, okay, like I still have coached over 20 years.
I don't know though, man.
Like,
I don't can't really speak. These football coaches are competitive and want to win and want to be at top tier programs. I don't care how old you are. How old is Nick freaking Saban? That dude's still coaching. He's not going to stop anytime
But not
soon.
everybody's Nick Saban.
No, and I'm not saying that. But if you're Mark Whipple, I don't think you're going out here just to test out 1 year and see what happens. No.
Here's what's interesting.
Mark Whipple has some type of confidence in the program.
Ben says this. Well, Ben says a couple things. He says Bach is the OG at the studio. Get out of here. Get out of here.
Well, I guess he is technically.
Yeah.
Who is the longest tenured on-air personality? It probably would be Bach.
Jake?
It might be. No, I think it might be Bach.
Bach took like a hiatus though for a couple years.
But he was here, I think, before Jake.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know. It's
doesn't
Jake
help.
or Bach.
Yeah. Anyway, but then he follows up with an interesting point. Can we credit Scott Frost with knowing when to get the hell out of the way and let Mark Whipple work his magic?
That's a big part.
So there's that part, but also to that point, Ben, did Scott Frost know when to get out of his own way? Or was he kind of forced to get out of his own way? Because it's taken 4 years. Maybe. We don't even know if he is going to get out of his own way this year. Jake Sorensen wins. Mark says. But at the end of this year, if we can look back and Nebraska had success and we know Scott Frost wasn't calling plays, then yes, we can credit Scott Frost for getting out of its way. But right now, we don't know if Scott Frost is going to get out of the way. We can hope.
That's a big question.
Oh, it's huge.
And I think you have to have some faith in Mark Whipple. Just looking at his history, look at last season alone. You have to have some type of faith.
Here's the thing. Pat Narduzzi is not an offensive-minded coach.
You are right.
Scott Frost is.
You are right.
So Pat Narduzzi and Scott Frost are completely different coaches. And maybe an interesting discussion here is which one would you rather have at Nebraska?
Who? Between who?
Scott Frost or Narduzzi? Defensive-minded guy.
At the time,
Nate,
no.
Listen to
At
this.
the time that they were hired, Scott
Frost.
Frost.
Absolutely.
Yes. Right now, I plead the fifth.
Defensive guy?
No comment.
Defensive guy for the Big Ten Conference?
No comment.
Think
to me
about
after
this.
Nebraska wins 9 games.
Think about this. Pat Narduzzi went to the ACC as a defensive guy and had one of the best offenses in college football because he wasn't involved.
That is true. Does Scott do the same thing?
He hasn't all 4 years. Man, Nate, we're getting deep. Here we
That's
go.
exciting.
This is
I'm
good.
telling you.
This is good.
Have faith in Mark Whipple. Hey, Mickey Joseph for that matter.
But you need faith in Scott Frost to have faith in those guys.
Ticket Water Cooler, 93.7 The Ticket. We'll be right back.
Jake Bachman here, and I want to tell you about my friends at Solarion. We're always trying to grow and try new things in life, and maybe this year is a chance to learn about how you can participate in a research study with Solarion. I've helped with their studies for many years and keep going back for many reasons. First off, the staff always treats me well, and they're really knowledgeable and informative, which gives me the comfort to keep going back. And it's up to you on how frequently you participate. Whether you're male or female, if you're at least 19 years of age, you may be eligible. If you're curious about how to earn up to $500 per day by participating in a research study at Solarion, check them out at helpresearch.com/new or call them at 866-213-2965. Once again, that's Solarion at 866-213-2965, or at HELPresearch.com/new.
There's not many things worse than having plumbing issues at your home or business, but it's even worse if the problem isn't fixed correctly. Select Plumbing gets it right the first time, and they specialize in several things: general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. Plus, they're hiring service plumbers. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197. The weather in Nebraska is unpredictable every day, and that's no fun when you're trying to golf. Double Eagle Golf in West Lincoln is now open to let you play in perfect indoor conditions daily. Double Eagle Golf has 5 simulator bays to hit in, by far the most in Lincoln. It has a fully stocked bar with beers and cocktails for you to enjoy while you play. Double Eagle Golf is open each weekday from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m., so you can start the day there, take a client over lunch, or end the night with friends. Check out Double Eagle Golf today inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street.
You know that feeling after a good, hearty meal? The worries of the world just slip away. Time slows down. Nothing but good times and good company. That's what you get with Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Mary Ellen's does food right, with a menu that includes smoked wings, pulled pork, brisket, catfish. And don't sleep on their sides: shrimp and grits, collard greens, baked beans. It's food that makes your heart happy. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul, just east of 27th and Pineland. Let them fix you a plate. People always ask, what are Jake and Sip like when they're off the air? Well, the answer probably won't surprise you.
Hey, Jake, your Honda's looking a little dirty.
Says the guy whose license plate is barely visible.
I mean, do you even care about that thing anymore?
It gets a little uncomfortable. Now, that's when I jump in.
Hey, whoa. Mark, did you get a new car?
Nope, just took my car down to Nebraska Auto Detail. Joe and the staff made the outside and the inside look amazing. Maybe you guys need to go.
Okay, wise guy.
Settle down, Jake.
Call Nebraska Auto Detail today at 402-601-5086.
Please enjoy these next few moments of relaxation from Scott and Greg at Mendoza Family Insurance. If you would like to feel this relaxed about your home, auto, business, life, or commercial property insurance, please give Scott or Greg a call today at Mendoza Family Insurance.
Spring is here. Are you giving your yard the best chance at being healthy and green? Call Penner Sprinkler and Lawn to get your sprinklers ready to go for the season if they haven't been working properly. They're also scheduling installs for new sprinkler systems if you don't have one. So make sure you contact them early to get a bid as soon as possible. Plus, they're your one place to go for 5-step fertilizer and pesticide application and lawn aeration. Call Penner Sprinkler and Lawn today at 402-413-1215.
2-1 count, and that's a deep drive into the gap. Smith rounding first base. It's a stand-up double.
Hey, Nick, speaking of doubles, did you know Wings and Rings has 2 ways to enjoy their next level food?
Rico, we're in the middle of a game.
The game can wait, Nick. One way is to stop by one of their Lincoln locations. They have 2 great locations at O Street, Meridian Park, and 40th and Old Cheney in Williamsburg Village.
You said 2 ways. What's the other way?
You can order online at wingsandrings.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
We should see decreasing cloud cover. Expect mostly sunny skies by later this afternoon. We'll top out at around 83 with a south wind at 10 to 15. Just a few passing clouds tonight, a low dropping down to around 60. We'll warm things up just a bit more for your Tuesday with a high tomorrow of 89. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Back to the Ticket Water Cooler. Brought to you by Culligan of Lincoln on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey, good Monday afternoon to all of you. Nick and Nate on the Ticket Water Cooler. You better get comfortable.
Sounds like the start of something.
Get yourself a glass.
Kidding. Nothing new.
Get yourself a glass of wine. I don't know, some popcorn.
We're big wine guys.
Get yourself whatever your beverage of choice. Some popcorn. Make some dinner. I don't know. Make some tacos. Some spaghetti. I don't know. What is something that's easy to make?
What's dinner tonight, Nate?
Carly's making tacos.
There you go.
So make yourself some tacos, get comfortable, because we're going to be here for another 2 hours. And Nick's going to be here for another,
4
hour after that? 2 hours after that.
6 to 8.
So you might as well get comfortable, but Nick and Nate will
get used to my voice.
We'll get you, that's right, and get used to my voice, because I guess basically they're the same. So you might as well
That's true.
Sorry,
That's
so
true.
if you start coming at Nick, just say Nate, and you're
I'm off the hook.
You got a 50-50 shot. 402-464-5685, Honda of Lincoln Hotline, Starter Heyman text line. We're going to have a packed on the block show, so make sure that you stick with us. Wanted to make sure that we got to this text. Texter says, hypothetically speaking, if Nebraska comes out struggling and they lose too many games for the fans and admin, let's say they fire Frost, would they promote Mickey to head coach? Nick made a good point. He's the interim head coach, so
associate head coach.
So short term, yes, he would be the head coach for whatever remaining games it would be. The interesting thing about that is we've talked about it extensively. You kind of have to define struggling, because my definition of struggling is very different than you guys. So it would have to be catastrophic, in my opinion, for him to be let go midway through the season. You have a little bit more of a loose definition of that.
If you lose to Northwestern and Oklahoma, you're done.
I don't know about that.
Maybe not. Okay, maybe not.
I don't know about that.
Think about this, Nathan.
I don't know about that.
Do you not know about it?
I don't know about that,
Okay.
because you're 2-2, and then you're going to
Okay,
assume
you're
that you're going to
2-2.
beat Indiana, so that makes you 2-2.
How do you assume anything? You lost to
Indiana?
Northwestern.
Dude, do
you
you
lost.
realize
Yes, they have
how
Connor
bad-
Bazelak
Connor Bazelak's actually kind of
from Missouri.
I know. he's
Michael
kinda
Penix is off at Washington.
Michael Penix is pretty good too.
I know.
With Michael Penix, they didn't win a game in the Big Ten last year, dude.
Nebraska won one.
I don't care.
They won one.
And guess who they
game.
didn't play last year? Indiana.
Yes.
They didn't play
They
Indiana.
won one game.
Northwestern beat Indiana, and Nebraska beat Northwestern by 50. Okay?
But if Nebraska-
Okay?
Yes.
Indiana
Yes.
is bad.
Yes.
I don't know
I'm
what
not
more.
saying
I don't
that.
even have to give you the in-depth statistics
I'm not
at all. Indiana is a bad football
Yes,
program.
but
if there's one game on the schedule in the Big Ten to assume Nebraska wins, it's Indiana.
But that
Seriously.
that does nothing for your Big Ten West.
I don't care. That's 3-2. I'm looking at the overall record at that point in time, because unlike what Bach says, they're not going to lose to Clay Helton. They're going to beat North
Georgia
Dakota
Southern.
and
They're just
Georgia.
going to swap
No,
them.
They're going to
Keep
beat
Clay
both
Helton
of them.
here.
They're going to be 3-2. At 3-2, you're not going to fire him. The next few
no.
games are going to be a big indication of where the season goes and where they go with Scott Frost. But at 3, he will at least make it through week 5.
Well, obviously,
At least.
you have to, because the buyout doesn't cut in half until after week 6.
The buyout. You're 3-2.
Yeah, so you don't fire him at 3
And also, I think your worst case scenario is 3-2. There is no chance that
Worst,
through 5
worst,
games,
worst case
Nebraska
scenario
is
is you're 2
worse.
and 3.
There's no chance, dude.
Worst case scenario is you're 2 and 3.
No shot.
Here's the thing. If
Okay,
you-
yes, hypothetically, worst case scenario would be 0-5.
yes, but no, they're not losing North Dakota. They're not losing to Georgia Southern.
Thank you. I appreciate that, because Bach is
But
driving me crazy. and pulling my hair out.
Nathan Brennan, if you lose to Northwestern, you cannot sit there and say that Indiana is a win.
Yes, I can.
No, you cannot.
Yes, I can.
Get out of town.
I bet you Nebraska will be 2 touchdown favorite. It'll be at least 13.5. The line.
Not if they're 2 and 2.
Yes, it will be. Yes, it will
No.
be. Isn't
No.
it in Lincoln?
I'm sure it is. Yes, I believe
It's
so.
in Lincoln against the worst team in the Big Ten.
Hold on. Let's look at Indiana's schedule. Who do they got? They could be undefeated
Indiana,
going in.
Indiana might not win a game, dude.
They got Connor Bazelak.
I know Connor Bazelak is actually pretty good.
Yes, he's good.
I don't know how they got Connor Bazelak. Thinking of which, though,
Indiana
I
football.
don't
No,
care. You can look at Indiana's record and schedule 10 times over. They're not beating Nebraska. Get out of here.
Oh my god. Oh well, they're gonna lose one game. Right before Nebraska, they have to travel to Cincinnati, so they're gonna lose that game.
They'll lose to Cincinnati. I forgot they had that home and home.
They will
which
beat.
Looks like a good home and home at the time.
They will beat Idaho, and they will beat Western Kentucky.
I don't think they'll beat Idaho.
Get it. Oh my. Get out of town.
I would not chalk that up as a win quite
We
yet.
are putting money on, not money. We're putting a bet on that.
Whatever the line
Idaho,
is, absolutely.
Indiana.
Whatever the line is.
No, I'm not saying
Give me
Indiana
Idaho.
covers.
Okay, no,
I'm not saying Indiana, because they're going to be a
I'm not taking
two-touchdown
Idaho.
favorite.
I'm not taking. What odds do you give me? 3-1.
Absolutely not. Why would I do that? Just because I think Indiana's going to beat Idaho doesn't mean I love Indiana.
Because you think there's a chance
They're
that Idaho
bad.
wins.
They're bad.
Thank you.
But they're not Idaho Vandals bad.
Indiana's going to be a bad football team, dude. Worst case scenario, 3-2. Nick and Nate, we'll be here for On the Block. Make sure you guys stay with us. Got a packed show. We'll see you in a second. 93.7 The Ticket.
At Baxter, we put you in the driver's seat with a simplified buying process, at-home test drives, hassle-free delivery, and service pickup and return.